Good afternoon and welcome to the Ouachita News Show. I'm Georgia Richards.
And I'm Allie Hilkema. To begin our show today, Josh Engel has the latest on the weather. Josh?
Thank you guys. Now, this is the last week we have of school before spring break happens, and because of that, it's going to make this part of the week pretty much irrelevant in terms of the forecast. But this part of the week still makes a difference, especially Thursday. You notice there, we've got a 100% chance of storms. It's going to be rainy and stormy and wet on that day. Be very careful if you are planning on going home because there are going to be some dangerous conditions going on Thursday, mostly throughout the entire day. However, for most of you, hopefully you'll be leaving on Friday, and as you can see, it's a much better day. Overall, it's going to be a lot sunnier and much better conditions, so I advise to probably be heading back on Friday instead of Thursday. In terms of other rain this week, you can see here on Tuesday, which most of you probably won't even be here for, but for those of you that are, there will be some sparse rain throughout the region on Tuesday. However, the rest of the week is mostly going to be just sun. I mean, it's really just going to be a nice week. Temperatures, though, going to be in the lower kind of mid-50s, actually upper 50s too, actually. You can see there all the way down pretty much. There are some exceptions with Thursday, just tomorrow, being a little bit warmer, high 65, and talking about Sunday actually is really where it makes a difference because we're going to be in the 40s, 46 high. You may want to be pulling out that jacket again because it's going to be very cold compared to the rest of this week. However, things will actually change. Hopefully these things will change though because Monday is going to be the first day of spring. And that is exciting, especially considering that that is also the first day of our spring break. Tigers, numbers are provided by AccuWeather. Back to the desk.
Thank you, Josh. Now, Ouachita's beloved coffee shop, Dr. Jack's, has been up to some exciting things. Students in the School of Business, joined by a few of the communication students, have partnered with Dr. Jack's. They are working on relaunching and rebranding the student-founded coffee company. With a threefold mission, our very own Kaylin Clay has more on their efforts. Kaylin?
Well, something really exciting has been happening right here in Higginbotham Hall. Students from both the communications and business departments have been in the process of relaunching the student-operated coffee company, Dr. Jack's Coffee, which was originally founded in 2013. Now, luckily, I have the inside scoop on what that process is looking like. Let's take a look. While the Dr. Jack's business is a student-led mission, entrepreneurship professor Johan Eriksson is overseeing this project, and he explains their threefold mission.
Well, the mission of Dr. Jack's, we have a kind of a threefold mission. We want to be a student-led enterprise, like I mentioned earlier, for students to engage in learning about the business, learning how to operate a business, so it's student-centered. The second mission is that we want to do something good with our business. So we're looking at philanthropical initiatives and how we can give back, whether that is supporting coffee growers in coffee growing countries like in Honduras, or if there is an opportunity to give back to our local communities. So we want to do something good with it. And then third, the mission is we do want to play in specialty coffee. We do want to engage with customers, whether those are students, alumni, friends of Ouachita, to provide really, really good coffee for a really good cause.
The Dr. Jack's initiative has created ample opportunities for students to find an area to serve, whether it's in business or communications. Professor Eriksson goes on to share some of these opportunities and how they're impacting students.
Yeah, Dr. Jack's is it's a new business for us, and we go across all different business segments, so we can create opportunities for students to engage in marketing, accounting, finance, sales, product development, engineering, providing students with that practical opportunity to take the content out of the classrooms and put practical application to the learning.
Well, Professor Eriksson motivates and calls on students to lead, and Joey Wisenhunt, a junior, has been leading meetings every Tuesday at 7 a.m., where students get up bright and early to discuss various initiatives and future preparations regarding Dr. Jack's.
It varies from week to week, but leading the meetings looks like I send out a calendar planner to all the people that have been involved in our team over the past 2 semesters, and I send that out, and people respond. People show up to meetings at 7 on Tuesdays and Tuesday mornings, which is rare for college students, and send those out, and then I lead them through a weekly progress report, which each team lead has contributed to that document, and then the team discusses the different tasks that are happening currently.
Well, as you're probably already aware, one of the things that Ouachita prides itself in is the amount of opportunities that are provided for students. Now, this is a prime example of one of those opportunities. So to follow along with Dr. Jack's and their mission, you can visit their Facebook page, Dr. Jack's Coffee House, or follow them on Instagram at drjacks.coffee. For the Ouachita News Show, I'm Kaylin Clay. Back to the studio.
Thank you, Kaylin. I'm sure all of campus is looking forward to the new look. Well, on Tuesday night, the long tradition of Mr. Tiger competition took place. The women of EEE hosted this event, crowning a new Mr. Tiger. Taking the place of last year's Mr. Tiger White House is Drew Dudley. Congratulations, Drew. Well, although spring break is right around the corner, there are still some exciting things happening before school is out. On Thursday, the women of Tri-Chi will be hosting a pancake bar in the stew from 10:30 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. It will be $3 for 2 pancakes and 2 toppings. Each additional topping will be 50 cents. Thursday night, the Battle of the Ravine 5-on-5 basketball game will be taking place at Bill Vining Arena. The women's game will start at 6:30 p.m. and the men's game will follow after that, starting at 7:30 p.m. Come out and support our fellow classmates. Following that will be Refuge at 9 p.m. in Jones Performing Arts Center.
Make sure you wear your green this Friday in light of St. Patrick's Day. At 11, seniors Sarah K. Cole and Peyton Mixon will be performing their BF AMT recitals. Taking place after that is Noonday in Berry Chapel. Following Noonday, Dr. Jack's will be hosting live music with senior Anna Kate Velasquez. Beginning at 12:15, bring your lunch and find a seat near the stage. Later in that afternoon at 2, sophomore Ansley Clay will be performing her BFA recital.
Our own Brody Kriegel is in the studio with us, and he has the Roar Rundown. Brody, what do our Tigers got going on this week?
Welcome back to the Roar Rundown. I'm Brody Kriegel. Spring sports are in full swing as baseball and softball are competing in Great Americans Conference matchups. Track and field has hit the ground running with the track meet, and other sports are soon to follow. Tiger baseball returned home on Tuesday to go up against the number 15 ranked Mule Riders of Southern Arkansas. A pair of crooked number endings was the difference in Tuesday's non-conference matchup between Ouachita Baptist University and number 15 Southern Arkansas University, with the Tigers falling by a final score of 5-4 at home. The Mule Riders scored 3 in the 5th inning and 2 in the 7th to account for their run production. Otherwise, the Tigers held the preseason favorite in the league scoreless on just 2 hits in the other 7 frames. Of Tuesday's game at Rab Rogers Field, Ouachita opened the scoring with a crooked number of its own in the bottom of the 1st inning on an RBI groundout by Dustin Bermudez, followed by an RBI single from Isaac Noel. The Tigers got one more across in the 5th on a squeezed bunt by Bermudez, and then finalized the scoring by cutting the deficit down to just 1 run in the 7th with an RBI groundout by G. Allen to score Judd Arrington, who doubled the lead off 1 inning. Arrington turned in Ouachita's only multi-hit game with a 2-for-3 day at the plate. The 2 through 5 spots in the lineup all accounted for 1 hit each in the loss. The Tigers hit the road this weekend to take on East Central University in a 3-game Great American Conference series in Ada, Oklahoma. The Ouachita Baptist University softball team dropped both games of the Battle of the Ravine doubleheader to rival Henderson State across the street. The first game of the series started off close. Ouachita got on the board first as Aaron Williams scored Hope Wade on an RBI single in the top of the 1st. Henderson answered back with a run of its own at the bottom of the 1st to tie things up. The 2nd inning saw both teams held scoreless with a strikeout. 3 singles and a fielder's choice in the 3rd broke the 1-1 tie. Madison Shoebottom hit an RBI single that scored Caitlin Province to make it 2-1 Tigers. The 2nd day started out with both pitchers dueling it out. There were no runs and only 5 hits combined through the first 3 and a half innings of play. Henderson finally scored first, plating 2 runs in the bottom of the 4th inning. The Tigers responded the next inning, scoring 2 runs on their own. The first run came on a Jessela Arns RBI double that scored Lacey Ornelas. The next run came on a Hope Wade RBI groundout that brought Maggie Huddleston home to tie the game 2-2. The Tigers and Reddies traded scoreless half innings before Henderson opened the gates for a second time. A 4-run sixth inning put HSU up 6-2 heading into the seventh inning. In the seventh, Ouachita got 1 run back as Cody Batchelor came home on an error after an RN single to cut the Reddies' lead to 3 runs. But that was it for the Tigers, and Henderson won Game 2 6-3. The third game of this rivalry series will be played on Ouachita's side of the street at Sully Anderson Field next month on Tuesday, April 11th. Ouachita will look to bounce back as East Central University comes to town for a 3-game GAC series starting Friday, March 17th at Sully Anderson Field. The men and women's outdoor track and field teams opened up their season with great performances at the Hendricks Invitational meet on Saturday. There were no overall team scores, but the Tigers consistently found themselves finishing near the top of the events. 5 women's program records were set this weekend, along with 21 personal bests for the women's team and 16 personal bests for the men's team. The weekend's record breakers were Karis Martin in the women's long jump with a distance of 17 feet 7 inches, beating the previous record by over a foot en route to taking first place in the event. Martin also broke the program record in the women's 200-meter race, placing second in the event with a time of 26.33, just 0.09 seconds away from the first. Elise Knight broke the women's 3,000-meter steeplechase record with a time of 11:31.99. That beat the previous record by almost 10 seconds and earned Knight a first-place finish. Mackenzie Davis broke the record in the women's 5,000-meter with a time of 17:52.72, breaking the previous record by over 30 seconds and earning herself a first-place finish in the event. The women's 4x400-meter squad of Perry, Went, McGregor, and Bro broke the program record and took the second place in the event with a time of 4:11.36. The Tigers will look to build on the momentum as they travel to Searcy, Arkansas to take place in the Harding Invitational meet on Saturday, March 18th. If you want to learn more, visit obutigers.com and tune into the Ouachita Sports Digital Network for updates. That's all for this week's Roar Down. This has been Brody Kriegel. Back to you.
Thank you, Brody. Make sure you go out and support our Tigers. Well, Georgia, I don't know about you, but I'm ready for spring break.
Me too. I'm excited to see my dog and my family. What about you?
I'm ready to do the exact same thing.
Well, that's all we have for you today, Ouachita. Be sure to tune in with us on our Instagram page and our YouTube channel.
Have a great rest of your week and have a fun, safe spring break, everyone. See you next time.